don't care who likes it or not, as long as we know it's the truth. If you're afraid to tell the truth, why, you don't even deserve freedom. Just tell the truth.
All praises to the Most High, Father Yah, and His Son, Yahushua HaMashiach. The world hates you. The world hates you. It hates us. But why? I know it may be heartbreaking, right? Especially to those who first get in the walk. It's like, for us that been in the walk for a little minute, I mean, I haven't been in the walk for a very long time, but you tend to get used to it, you know, because as your understanding begins to increase, you begin to see, like, you know why they hate you now. You know that this is a spiritual war. You know that people that are in the world, they're going to hate you because you walking with the Most High, you walking with His Son, Yeshua, and Satan, he works through people who are living in sin, and he going to use people to come against you, and people just, you know, and people are just living wickedly. So when they're living wickedly, they hate to see someone that's living righteously. That's just how it is. And a lot of Hebrews that get into the walk, they don't really understand why, and a lot of them get offended. They're like that seed, you know, that fell. I believe it was that fell on the stony ground. That Yeshua said fell on the stony ground because they didn't have any root. So when persecutions arose, they got offended. You know, whether persecutions came from family, friends, their job, you know, the government, or, you know, wherever, you know, people higher ups, wherever. You know, persecution right now is going to come from everywhere. And when I say everywhere, everywhere, you know. And what happened, they get offended, and they get thrown off the walk, you know. I have seen this happen. It's sad, you know, that it happens this way, and that's just how it happens, you know. And the persecution is going to get worse. But I'm gonna give y'all a story. This is, you know, this is crazy. But let's go to this scripture real fast. John chapter 15, verse 18. We go start at verse 18. John chapter 15, verse 18. Because the world hates you. When you live in righteous, you truly live in righteous, you got to expect some persecutions. No, I'm not saying everything is not going to be silky smooth. If you live in righteous, you're going to see some persecutions. If you ain't received no type of persecution and you've been in the walk for years, you probably still kind of conform to the world. And yes, I say that because Yeshua said it plenty of times. You're going to receive some type of persecution. Verse 18, if the world hate you, you know that it hated me before it hated you. If you were of the world will love its own. But because you are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. Remember the word that I said unto you, the servant is not greater than his master. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. Hear what he just said? The servant ain't greater than the master. You're not greater than Yeshua. Look what they did to him for living righteously, showing them the right way, showing them the ways of Yah. Look what they did to him. His own people put him up for death. So what you think they gonna do to you? Your own people and the heathens. He said, if they persecuted me, they also will persecute you. If they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also. But all these things will they do unto you for my name's sake, because they know not him that sent me. See? They don't know the Father. They could say they know Yeshua, but they don't know the Father. So if they don't know the Father, how they gonna know Yeshua? You see? They say they know him, but they live in a whole nother way. They're not even putting forth no effort to try to live as he asked us to live. Not asked, he commanded us to live. Verse 22, if I had not come and spoken unto them, they had not sinned. But now they have no cloak for their sin. So he was talking about the Pharisees right here who was basically trying to hide under the law, because you can hide under the law, but you can't fake being in the spirit. Hear me. You can hide under the law, but you cannot fake being in the spirit. It's only so long you're going to be exposed. You see? And they didn't understand that with Yeshua. See, they was hiding under, I keep the Sabbath, I do this, I do that. I got on all my Hebrew garments, and this was the Pharisees was doing. Sitting at the high places at the feast days, and I fast 2 days a week, proclaiming they fast at that, because they wanted to be, known as the righteous men. You see, but they didn't have the spirit. They didn't have the spirit of the Most High, and He knew what they was doing behind closed doors. He knew how their spirit was. That's why He said they appear beautiful, but inwardly they are like corpses. See, so you got to walk in the spirit while you keeping the commandments of the Most High too. Because if you say, oh, I'm doing this and I'm doing that, you can't, that alone won't save you. You got to have the spirit of the Most High, the spirit that Yeshua sent to you. So for you non-Messianic Israelites, if you don't believe in Yeshua, you're done. You better repent, because that's the only way you can get the spirit. You can't do it on your own. We too wicked. Okay? So this is the story, right? I'm in class, right? So now I'm in school taking up something, right? So it's an English class, and in this class, she like us to get very personal, do projects where we talk about certain subjects and we share our views and this and that, right? So I'm up in there, and the people that's up in there, they of the world. So it was a Gentile woman who did a project on the rapper, his name is Logic. And he has a rap song that's talking about he want to die and suicide and all this, right? So the video is showing a Hebrew boy, I believe he's a Hebrew, and a heathen boy that are gay homosexuals that's in a relationship, and he's being teased and all these different things at school. His father called him and he disagreed with it, so they want to kill it. He want to kill himself. The Hebrew boy, he wants to kill himself for what he was going through. So the Gentile woman was like, yeah, I chose this video because we need to accept everyone for who they are and not hate them and do this and do that. And everyone needs to understand and be more accepted. So these people are going through a lot. You see that? You see this, right? But when they talk about, because there was a lot of brothers and sisters, Hebrews, that brought up the struggles that we went through dealing with racism and all these different things. And I know why it happened, because we disobeyed Yah. But them Gentiles did not humble themselves and say, yeah, it was wrong. None of them, it was crickets in the room. I brought up a lot of stuff too dealing with slavery. Crickets. The only people that was talking was Hebrews. Only people. But now all of a sudden, for the homosexuality, we have to stand up and stick together. And no. So everybody, accepted it. Like, yeah, we need to do this and we need to do that, and we need to. Hebrews talking about accepting homosexuality. I stood and I said, hey, I stopped the class. The teacher said, if anyone have any opinions or views on this, I said, this is wrong. If he wanna solve something, he needs to. I said, if he want to solve something and he want boys to grow up to be accepted, he need to make a song about teaching boys how to be men. They was heated, y'all. The whole class came against me. What are you talking about and this and that? I said, I see through their agenda. I don't care what he talking about suicide. They putting this homosexual stuff in these videos, and these kids watching it, and they go emulate it. They gonna do what they see. They're gonna imitate what they see. The whole class rolling their eyes at me, attacking me. But the craziest part, the people that was attacking me the most was the Hebrews, our own people. One sister was even like crying, about to cry. She was crying because she said her husband don't agree either, and it's hurting her. Because your husband got some sense. But the only people, the people that was real quiet, it was only Gentiles and Hebrews that was speaking against it. But mostly my own people. But the people that was quiet was the Asians and like other people from like ethnic groups, other countries. Because they know. Majority of them, I wouldn't say majority, but a lot of them was raised to, they have enough sense to say homosexuality is not right. Even though they don't even follow the Bible. And that's why they was sitting there like, they weren't saying nothing because they know. But this is just crazy. This is just an example. My own people was coming at me hard, agreeing with the Gentile woman that homosexuality should be accepted. And they say this is a new age. That's the crazy part. The teachers say this is a new age. And you know what they promote, y'all, with the new age agenda. This is a new age and humanity needs to be accepted. Skip that. So this is, our people are being warped. They're in the world. The Hebrews, our people are in the world. And the Gentiles too. Because our people follow the customs of the Gentiles. Look how they came at me just for that. Because I disagree with this and I told them it's wicked. And the whole class hate me now. This is a perfect example. When you follow the ways of Yeshua, you're going to be hated. Everyone is not going to like. Majority of the people is not going to like you. Let's go to Revelation chapter 13, verse 3. And this is what's going on. It said, and I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and the deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. The world is wondering after the beast. Our people, this is why they came at me like this. This is why they say homosexuality should be accepted. Because the beast, this system, they the ones that's promoting homosexuality, saying it should be accepted. All on TV, the news. These wicked people that's controlling this society. And they're wandering after them. And they don't understand. If they continue to do this, their name is going to be blotted out of the book of life. That's why I said those who wander after the beast, they're not going to be in the book of life. Everybody want to know, what's the mark of the beast? What's the mark of the beast? Honestly, I can't say 100% what it is. That's why I won't say that is this or that is not this. But what I can say is if you walking with the Most High and you following Yah and truly striving to follow him, it's impossible to take the mark. It's impossible. Do you hear me? If you walking with the Most High and you truly striving to walk with him and you depending on him for everything, you going to him for everything, not letting man deceive you on any matter, you going to pray to him when any matter comes, it's impossible to take the mark. It's impossible. But you better be willing to deal with persecutions, y'all, or you will take the mark. Understand? That's why I said you have to be able to walk with y'all no matter what. So if you're not willing to accept persecutions, the little small persecutions that's happening now, how would you be willing to accept the big ones that's coming in the future? You will end up taking the mark. You ain't worshiping that statue? Okay, cut his head off. No, give me the mark. Give me the, I'll do it. You took the mark now. Because you're afraid of death. That's why he said, fear, you won't inherit the kingdom. The Sabbath is on Sunday now. If you don't keep the Sabbath, you lose your job. You go to jail. You get put to death. They're going to do this again. Understand? They're going to do this again. What's his name? Antiochus Epiphanes. He tried to change the Sabbath. Nebuchadnezzar set up an image. Mystery Babylon the Great. Mystery Babylon the Great. This system is going to do everything that Babylon in the past did. They're going to set up images. They're going to do all that. I know it sounds crazy to people. They're going to do it again. Constantine changed the Sabbath to Sunday. They're going to do it again. And if you don't want to accept it, you're going to be an outcast among society. Let's go to John chapter 16, verse 1 through 3. He said, these things have I spoken unto you, that ye shall not be offended. They shall put you out of the synagogues. Yeah, the time cometh that whosoever killeth you will think that he doeth Elohim service. And these things will they do unto you, because they have not known the Father nor me. Hear what he is saying. It's about to come a time, y'all, and understand. Am I saying this out of fear? No. Am I saying this to scare anyone? No. I'm saying this to say, you better be getting prepared. You better stop arguing on Facebook over who Esau is. Arguing over, being misled by these camps. Your pastor. You know what I'm saying? Worried about your family, what they think of you. Steady worrying about this, that. You better start focusing. Getting prepared spiritually, most importantly. That's why I'm doing this video. Get prepared spiritually, because you ain't gonna be able to rely on your own. You gotta rely on the Most High. It's about to come a time that people are going to persecute the believers and the followers of Yeshua in these days. That's about to come. And they're going to think that they're doing the right thing. Do I know exactly how it's going to play out? No, I don't. But they're going to wander after the beast. The beast is going to say, look, these guys right here, these men and women that worship the Most High, that follow Yeshua, that keep the Sabbath, that do this, that do that, they're a threat to our society. They're a threat to us having peace. They're a threat. These people are going to stop us from having peace. And they're going to believe it. They're going to wander after the beast and they're going to believe it. And people are going to be against you. Do you hear me? He said, look what he said. Matthew chapter 10, verse 34 through 35. Think that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. This is happening right now. Your own family is coming at you. This is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. Your own family is coming at you. So you better start worrying about trying to please them. You give them the word, you plant the seed, hopefully they listen. If they don't, you can't worry about it. You have to worry about your household. To those of us who have children, we have to worry about raising our children up to follow Yah. For they won't turn your butt in. And for those of you who got into this walk and you're already older, your children are grown, and your children don't want to follow, those who got in the walk and they got children as adults, and they gave them the word and they don't want to follow it, guess what? Yeshua said, you can't put mother, father, son, daughter, no one over me, because they are not then you are not worthy of me if you do that. So if you got an older son or adult daughter and you got into the walk and when you was 50, 40 some years old and they don't want to hear it, you love them, of course, that's your child, but you can't put them over the Most High. It's sad like that. They may not get it. And they gonna be the ones to deliver you up when you trying to put them over the Most High. That's why he say don't put them over me. Because when that time that's coming, you're gonna choose them over me. Oh, my son, he doing it. He worshiping the image. So I might as well do it. No. He gonna put your butt to death. He gonna send you up to death. When they threaten to kill him, or like, where's your mother? Oh, she's here. Because he have not known the Father. It's sad like that. It's the truth. This is how it's going to be. Matthew chapter 10, verse 19 through 21. But when they deliver you up, take no thought how or what ye shall speak. For it shall be given you in the same hour what ye shall speak. We got to do the same thing. Don't even be thinking about what's going to happen. When they come get you, the Spirit going to speak through. You never know what you're going to say. It's my Father will be done. You're going to be quoting scriptures and everything. Like, whoa. Verse 20. For it is not ye that speak, but the Spirit of your Father which speaketh in you. And the brother shall deliver up the brother to death, and the father the child. And the children shall rise up against their parents and cause them to be put to death. See? Your own father and mother. Your family who hates you right now for you following Yah. Yeah, you got family that don't like you. They're the ones that's going to put you up. And you got a lot of family members that's you dropping them seeds on, they going to wake up. You best believe it. It's going to be some people that's going to wake up, some of your loved ones that's going to truly wake up. You know, don't just give up on them right now. It's going to continue to plant the seeds, but that's it. You can't force them to do anything. Don't put them over the Most High. If they choose to keep living in the world, so be it. You got to worry about your household, about you getting your salvation. 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 12. Yea, and all that will live godly and Hamashiach, Yeshua, shall suffer persecution. Look at that. If you living godly, you living after the Most High ways, following Yeshua HaMashiach, you're going to be persecuted. He said you're going to suffer persecution. This is part of it. Let's go to 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 12. He said, Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial which is to try you, as though some strange thing happened unto you. See? And this is why a lot of people, they like that seed that fell on the stony ground. Because when that fiery trial come, a test of faith or anything, they think that, they think it's something strange. Like, this ain't the walk. This ain't for me. They don't understand that this is going to strengthen you. Yah's going to test your faith and Satan is going to come and tempt you. But when you get through these things, it's going to strengthen you. That's why he said rejoice. Verse 13, but rejoice, inasmuch as you are partakers of Christ's suffering, that when his glory shall be revealed, you may be glad also with exceeding joy. And if you be reproached for the name of Hamashiach, happy are ye, for the spirit of glory and of Elohim resteth upon you. On their part he is evil spoken of, but on your part he is glorified. Look at that. So on they part, they speaking evil of Mashiach, which is a bad thing. But on your part, he glorified. Look, when I went through what I went through at the school, at first I was like, these people crazy. I was like, they really in the world. But as I left out of class, I rejoiced. Seriously. I rejoiced because it felt good. I rejoiced because I know that I stood firm for Yah and Yahushua. It's a good feeling. When I was at my job, when they persecuted me for keeping the Sabbath, when I stood up and told them, look, I'm not working the Sabbath. But we're going to fire you. It was the Spirit working through me. Well, if you're going to write me up, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, so be it. That's exactly what I said. And it felt good. A lot of people look at me like, you're an idiot. And I'm still at the job years later. Because Yah will make a way for you. And it just so happened if you was to lose it, he going to bless you. You think he going to leave you comfortless? He said you more precious than sparrows. I'm going to do a video on that. For the Sabbath. I'm going to do a video speaking on this people that's being persecuted for keeping the Sabbath at work and stuff. So let's go to Matthew chapter 5, verse 10. Thank you, Father Yah. Hallelujah. He said, blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. See? If you're being persecuted for righteousness' sake, yours is the kingdom of heaven. You're going to get a good reward. Stand firm. Let's go to Luke chapter 6, verse 22. He said, blessed are ye when men shall hate you, and when they shall separate you from their company, and shall reproach you, and cast out your name as evil for the Son of Man's sake. Look at that. How many of us in this walk had so many friends, but now we really don't have none? The only people that we have around us is believers, and we probably have Some of us have a lot. Some of us have, a small amount. But I'm talking about the friends that you had when you were in the world. They separated from you quick, got out of the way. They like, oh man, he followed the book, man. He don't eat pork no more. He don't even want to go kick it on Saturdays. See what I'm saying? Now they looking at you like you evil. Blessed are ye. Let's go to Peter. 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 14. And if you suffer for righteous sake, happy are ye, and be not afraid of their terror, neither be troubled. See? Be happy. Be happy that you're being persecuted because you know the reward that's going to come. So, this system is made to be against you. It's set for us to fail. And it's only going to get worse. This is what it's all about. This is what the New World Order, this is what it's about. Praise to the Most High Father Yah. This is what it's about. They trying to make war with the saints. They want to make it hard for you. He want to throw you off of the walk. Throw you off of the path. He don't want you following Yahushua HaMashiach. So he got these heathens, these wicked heathens that's in Confederate. They still in Confederate. It's a bunch of nations that's going to persecute every saint across the world. All the Hebrews, they persecuting them now. They afflicting the Hebrews. And why are they putting poverty and giving us wicked entertainment? They aiming this directly at the Hebrews, putting stuff in our water, food, shots, vaccines. Why are they doing this to us? All this is being done to keep us away from Father Yah. That's what it all boils down to. It makes sense now, right? At first, we were like, why are they doing this to us? Is it because we're black? No, it's a lot of black people that's not Israelites. They doing this to you because they don't want you to follow Yah. They don't want you to, you could wake up and say you're an Israelite, but they don't want you to walk with Yeshua. Because they know once you start doing that, it's a wrap. And once they start seeing the Gentiles get the word, now the Gentiles cleaving to you. We see that happening now. And they know once that happens, it's really a wrap now. It's really a wrap. Because they're looking like these people are the Hebrews. They trying to do everything to keep you asleep. To keep you asleep. To keep you in the world. It's all centered around getting you off the walk. Keeping you off the walk. That's what they about to do. That's what it's all about. All the nations is coming together to try to make war with Yahushua. Why? I don't know. That ain't gonna work. Lake of fire. And they want to make war with the saints, with the Hebrews and other nations too that's following the Most High. They gonna get cut off. They not cut off, but the other nations, the Gentiles that's walking with Yah right now and continue, they're gonna get persecuted also. Not just Israelites, but you on the top of the list. Israel they after you. That after you, says Satan have come down and to make war with the that was Revelation chapter 12. To make war with the seed of the woman, the remnant of Israel. That's what it's all about. The nations are about to come together and they're about to, for a short period of time, chaos is going to be in the world. And that's the beginning of sorrows. Because a lot of people be like, oh, the tribulation. That's the beginning of sorrows. Poverty, famines, economic collapse. That's the beginning of sorrows. But then what they're going to do in the midst of that, they're going to say, hey, we need to do this, that, and that to have peace on the earth. That's why Paul said they're going to say peace, peace, and destruction is going to come overnight. Because during this chaos that's about to come now, the beginning of sorrows, which is going to be the economic collapse, the famines, the wars, all this stuff, you're going to have religious leaders that's going to come together and say, hey, we need to do this, we need to do that, and y'all need to follow this. And by doing this, we're going to have peace on the earth. Anyone who doesn't follow is an outcast. Then it's going to be anyone who doesn't follow is going to get fined. Or then it's going to be anyone who doesn't follow will be locked up. Then it's, look, anyone don't follow, they getting put to death. That's what they trying to do. They want a war against the saints, okay? So endure to the end. Follow Yah and Yahushua HaMashiach. Keep the faith. Shalom.